Hello everybody and welcome to Hot Wheels Race Tournament number 30. And let's begin. To start things off, we have Muscle Tone versus Street Creeper. And the winner is going to be Street Creeper. Next up is Quick and Sick versus the first out of the 13 debuting cars, Total Disposal. And the winner is going to be Quick and Sick. Next up is Buzz Lightyear versus the second out of the 13 debuting cars, and the first out of the 3 returning cars, Power Piston. To infinity and beyond. And the winner is going to be Buzz Lightyear. Next up is Howlin Heat versus Tarmac Attack. And the winner is going to be Howlin Heat. Next up is Cyber Speeder versus the third out of the 13 debuting cars, C7 Corvette. And the winner is going to be C7 Corvette, winning in his debut. Next up is SpeedBox versus Impavido. And the winner is going to be SpeedBox. Next up is Time Tracker versus the fourth out of the 13 debuting cars, Roadster. And the winner is going to be... And the winner is going to be Roadster with a comeback. Next up is GT Hunter versus the fifth out of the 13 debuting cars, Power Pistons. And the winner is going to be GT Hunter. Next up is the 6th out of the 13 debuting cars, and the second out of the 3 returning cars, winning formula. He'll be taking on Circle Tracker. And the winner is going to be Circle Tracker. Next up is Land Crusher versus Gray Bone Shaker. And the winner is going to be Land Crusher. Next up is Honda Racer versus Red Bone Shaker. And the winner is going to be Honda Racer. Next up is the 7th out of the 13 debuting cars, Bulletproof. He'll be taking on Bone Speeder. And the winner is going to be Bulletproof. Next up is the 8th out of the 13 debuting cars, Rockin' Santa Sled. He'll be taking on Black Widow. And the winner is going to be Black Widow. Next up is Scorcher versus the 9th out of the 13 debuting cars, Roger Dodger 2.0. And the winner is going to be Scorcher. Next up is the 10th out of the 13 debuting cars, the beautiful looking 2 Jets. You'll be taking on Street Shaker. And the winner is going to be 2 Jets, winning in his debut. Next up is Blue Bone Shaker versus Batmobile. And the winner is going to be, Batmobile Crash. That's going to cost him. Blue Bone Shaker takes the win. Next up is the 11th out of the 13 debuting cars, 1968 Copo Camaro. He'll be taking on 1957 Chevy. And the winner is going to be 1968 Copo Camaro. Next up is Snoopy versus the 12th out of the 13 debuting cars, and the final returning car, Dodge Challenger Drift Car. And the winner is going to be Snoopy. Next up is the 13th and the final debuting car, Roller Toaster. He'll be taking on 24 Oars. And the winner is going to be Roller Toaster. Next up is Fast Forward WD versus 2019 Ford Range Raptor. And the winner is going to be Fast Forward WD. Next up is RDO8 versus Circle Trucker. And the winner is going to be RDO8. Next up is 1972 Ford Rancho versus Pizza Delivery. And the winner is going to be... Whoa, what a race! Pizza Delivery was trying to make a comeback. And he wins! Next up is Invader versus 1976 Greenwood Corvette. And the winner is going to be Invader. Next up is Airuption versus Indy 500 Oval. And the winner is going to be... Whoa, what a race! But it's Airuption for the win. Next up is Epic Fast versus Nitro Door Slammer. Oh! Nitro Jerusalem crashed again. And that will give the win to Epic Fast. Next up is a Battle of the Fire Squad. Backdrafter versus Torque Twister. And the winner is going to be Torque Twister. Next up is Prototype H24 versus Carbide. And the winner is going to be... Whoa! Prototype H24 tried to block Carbide, but Carbide takes the win. Next up is Godzilla GT versus Turbot. And the winner is going to be Turbot. Next up is Z-Rod versus the previous champion, Ballistic. And the winner is going to be Ballistic with a block. Next up is Twin Mill 3 versus Speedy Pérez. And the winner is going to be... Ooh, Twin Mill 3 crashed. That's going to cost him. Speedy Pérez takes the win. Next up is Runway Res-q versus Kylo Ren. And the winner is going to be... Whoa, what a race. I'm going to rerun that. That is pretty close. Alright, here goes the rerun. And the winner is going to be Runway Res-q. And the final race of round number 1 is going to be Forward Speed versus 31 Doozie. And the winner is going to be Forward Speed. Alright guys, here we are, round 2. We're going to kick things off with Street Creeper and Quick and Sick. And the winner is going to be Street Creeper. Next up is Buzz Lightyear versus Howlin Heat. To infinity and beyond! And the winner is going to be Howlin Heat. Next up is C7 Corvette versus SpeedBox. And the winner is going to be SpeedBox. Next up is Roadster versus GT Hunter. And the winner is going to be, Roadster Crash. That's going to cost him. GT Hunter takes the win. Next up is Circle Tracker versus Land Crusher. And the winner is going to be, Circle Tracker tried to block Land Crusher, but was it enough? No, it's not. Land Crusher takes the win. Next up is Honda Racer versus Bulletproof. And the winner is going to be, Bulletproof tried to block Honda Racer, but was it enough? Yes, it is. Bulletproof takes the win. Wow, what an intense move by Bulletproof. Next up is Black Widow versus Scorcher. And the winner is going to be Black Widow. Next up is Two Jets versus Blue Bone Shaker. And the winner is going to be... Whoa, what a race. But just barely is Two Jets for the win. Next up is 1968 Copo Camaro versus Snoopy. And the winner is going to be... What a land by Snoopy! And Snoopy takes the win. Next up is Roller Toaster versus Fast 4 WD. And the winner is going to be Roller Toaster. Next up is RDO8 versus Pizza Delivery. And the winner is going to be... Whoa, what a race. RDO8 turned to left. And that almost cost him. But RDO8 takes the win. Next up is Invader versus Airuption. And the winner is going to be Invader. Next up is Epic Fast versus Torque Twister. And the winner is going to be Epic Fast. Next up is Carbide versus Turbot. The winner is going to be Carbide. Next up is Ballistic versus Speedy Pérez. And the winner is going to be Speedy Pérez. And the final race of round number 2 is going to be Runway Res-q versus Forward Speed. And the winner is going to be Forward Speed. Alright guys, here we are, round 3. We're going to kick things off with Street Creeper and Howlin Heat. And the winner is going to be Street Creeper. Next up is SpeedBox versus GT Hunter. And the winner is going to be... SpeedBox tried to block GT Hunter, but GT Hunter takes the win. Next up is Land Crusher versus Bulletproof. I don't know what happened to Bulletproof, but Land Crusher takes the win. Next up is Black Widow versus two Jets. Oh! Two Jets crashed, and that will give the win to Black Widow. Next up is Snoopy versus Roller Toaster. And the winner is going to be Snoopy. So all the newbies are out. Next up is RRRoadster versus Invader. And the winner is going to be RRRoadster. Next up is Epic Fast versus Carbide. And the winner is going to be Epic Fast. And the final race of round number 3 is going to be Speedy Pérez versus 4 Speed. And the winner is going to be Speedy Pérez. Alright guys, here we are with the quarterfinals. We're going to kick things off with Street Creeper and GT Hunter. And the winner is going to be, oh, Street Creeper crashed and that blocked GT Hunter. And so, Street Creeper takes the win. Wow, what an amazing move. Next up is Land Crusher versus Black Widow. And the winner is going to be Land Crusher. Next up is Snoopy versus RRRoadster. And the winner is going to be What a Land by Snoopy, but RRRoadster takes the win. And the final race of the quarterfinals is going to be Epic Fast versus Speedy Pérez. And the winner is going to be Speedy Pérez. Alright guys, here we are with the semifinals. We have Street Creeper, Land Crusher, RRRoadster, and Speedy Pérez. And so we're going to kick things off with the Battle of the Rivals. Street Creeper versus Land Crusher. And also, these two face off in the finals multiple times. And the winner is going to be Land Crusher. Who will meet Land Crusher in the finals? Will it be RRRoadster or Speedy Pérez? And the winner is going to be Speedy Pérez going to the finals for the first time. Alright guys, here we are with the finals. We have Land Crusher, who's a 2-time champion, and Speedy Pérez, who has never won a championship. And will Land Crusher get his third, or will Speedy Pérez get his first? And who's going to win it? We'll find out now. Alright guys, so the winner of Hot Wheels Race Tournament number 30 is going to be none other than Pérez. He has won his first championship. He has done it. Land Crusher was so close. He was close to getting his third championship, and he will soon get it. And congratulations to Speedy Pérez for winning his first championship. And I'll see you guys in Hot Wheels Race Tournament number 31. See you guys next time. Bye.